The Romans upset the equilibrium by dispersing the Jews in the year 66 AD. Thereafter, the Jews suffered endless privations, endless sufferings, being victims of all sorts of hoodlums, such as Hitler, until the founding of the State of Israel in 1948. That's what the Prime Minister was saying here. The Jewish leaders wisely avoided the British nonsense. You know, our British friends are fond of sometimes doing all sorts of nonsensical actions. The Jewish leaders wisely avoided the British nonsense of proposing to bring you to Uganda because you had no historical claim here. This was just nonsense. There was a character called Bolfo, something like that. There was a character called Balfour. I don't know how they pronounce his name. But that gentleman put out something called the Balfour Declaration or something like that. And the fellow was talking about Uganda as a home of the Jews. You can see how these fellows are really not serious. Now, fortunately, the Jewish leaders rejected that nonsense. This is rubbish. We have no historical claim on Uganda. We came from Palestine, that's why we want to go back. Those Jewish leaders were very, very clever. Otherwise, we would be fighting you now. No, this man was called Balfour, that gentleman. That he was foreign minister. How can you be foreign minister when you are so ignorant? You went to where you had a historical claim, Palestine. Therefore, rationally, historically, and legitimately, the two of you belong to that area. The only way for you and for the world is for the two of you to agree to live side by side in two states, one Jewish and the other one Arab, in peace and with recognized borders. I know there are some people who try to, waste a lot of time in these international meetings. That's why sometimes when I go there, I sleep, because it helps me to survive the meetings. A lot of energy is expended on saying that Palestine is like South Africa. Palestine is not like South Africa. South Africa, they try to say Mandela, the whites in South Africa, non-racial state, South Africa. But that's a different story. That's a different story. It cannot be equated. Well, I have never mediated in the issue of Palestine, but if you invited me, I would give very clear ideas in a very short time. Because the issues are very clear. A lot of time has been lost, and a lot of trouble has been kicked up. But I do not see any other way. Because they spend so much time on the right of the return of the refugees and all that. But this is not. This is what I tell them. The other time I went to Iran, and there was the man who was president that time, the one who was president before this one, the one who is there now. Huh? Bakano Moto. Oha? Ahmadinejad. Ahmadinejad. And I told him about this story. I said, because he was saying that the Jews don't belong to the Middle East, that they came from Europe. That's what he was telling me. I said, no, but I read the Bible. And here they are. The Jews are here. I had my Bible, I showed it to him. And I showed him where it was being talked about. I also asked him something which he didn't know at all. In the Bible, it talks a lot about the Persians and the Medians. So I asked Ahmadinejad, where are the Medians? We now know the Persians are yourselves. But where are the Medians? He didn't know. He didn't know. He didn't know. Nobody there knew. So they started asking each other, Modian. They went and got a very old man from the university. He's the one who came and said, oh, the Medians were something. So I could see that in some of these situations, there is a lot of ignorance. And so I normally tell my Arab friends and our Iranian friends that you are all mentioned in the Bible. And here, I've taken some little trouble. I will complete my little speech. And I will quote the exact words when my little speech is finished. The story of Shara and Hagar in the book of Genesis, the two women. In the book of Genesis, chapter 1 and verses 9 to 13. Incidentally, you Israelis, you need to know, these Ugandans don't know that you are not Christians. They don't know. They think you are Christian. Many of them know that you are the grandchildren of Ibrahim and all that, and so they assume that you are Christian. They don't even know. I think the priests are here. The priests must be full here. They are always talking about you as, but they think you are Christians. They don't know that you are not Christians. We hear